Hi everyone, I'm Munmun Ganeriwal and I have joined you live for the 10 weeks of Yuktahaar project. We are in the last week of this project. In fact, we are going to end the project tomorrow, so it's actually the second last day of this project. And we are in phase 3. TBBD is a 3-phased program. I'm telling all these things for people who are new because a lot of new people have also joined. So there's a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. और अभी हम phase 3 में हैं. We are discussing phase 3. And today in phase 3 we are discussing the 5th part of the lifetime guidelines. These are the TBBD lifetime guidelines part 5. And what have we done for the last 4 parts? Let me just summarize quickly. So the first day, the part 1 of the lifetime guidelines was saying no to all sorts of diets. What sorts of diets? Diets जो आपको बोलते हैं कि एक फूड ग्रुप खाओ दूसरा मत खाओ, जैसे कि कोई बोलता है प्रोटीन्स खाओ कार्ब्स मत खाओ, या फिर कोई बोलता है कि फैट्स मत खाओ कार्ब्स खाओ, you know, so that kind of a stuff जहाँ पे बोला जाता है that just eat one food group more and do not eat the other food group at all, or at least restrict it. The other ones like where they tell you that eat completely raw, or the ones which tell you don't have dairy, you know, those kind of stuff where actually they tell you not to have something for a lifetime. Those kind of diets are the diets which you should not step onto, because in the end, for a lifelong purpose, you should be eating all sorts of food. So that is the number one thing. So what should be the plan of action for the rest of your life? For the rest of your life, your plan of action should be about following a dietary pattern, not a diet. And what is that pattern? That pattern is about waking up and consuming a warm drink. क्या वार्म ड्रिंक है उसके लिए आपको बुक पढ़ना होगा, क्योंकि हर फेज के लिए एक अलग ड्रिंक है. सो यू नो यू गो एंड चेक दैट. After that is the breakfast, which should be light, which should not be a king size breakfast like we have been told, you know, by a lot of people. So no king size breakfast, a light breakfast. The third is about having a very wholesome and substantial lunch. तो lunch जो है 11 से 1 के बीच हो जाना चाहिए, and it should be really wholesome, the most substantial meal, the star meal of your day, so to speak. And the dinner should be light. And the last point is about eating only when you are hungry. So if you get a diet chart जहाँ पे आपको बोला जाता है कि नहीं हर 2 घंटे में तो ये खाना ही है और इतना तो खाना ही है, that is not something that you should follow, because you should eat based on your hunger, not based on the diet chart. डाइट चार्ट में अगर लिखा है कि इस वक्त खाओ, बट उस समय अगर आपको भूख ही नहीं है तो आप वो अगर खाएंगे, इट्स जस्ट गोइंग टू लाई देयर ऑन योर स्टमक अनडाइजेस्टेड, एंड बैड बैक्टीरिया विल कम एंड you know feed on it, multiply and create a lot of inflammatory condition for you, जिसके वजह से एक्ने होता है, हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंसेस होते हैं, हम वर्कआउट करते हैं पर सोचते हैं कि वेट ही कम क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, एंड ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. सो इट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट कि आप तभी खाइए जब आपको भूख है, और उतना ही खाइए जितना आपको भूख है. अगर भूख शांत हो गई है तो उसके बाद भी खाते मत रहिए. सो दीज आर द बेसिक गाइडलाइंस दैट यू शुड बी हैविंग फॉर अ लाइफ टाइम, एंड जस्ट नॉट यू नो बिकमिंग वल्नरेबल टू एनी ऑफ द diet trends, because diet trends आना बंद नहीं होंगे. We need to know that. So we need to develop some protection mechanisms so that you know we stay far away from that. So this was my guideline number 1. What was guideline number 2? Guideline number 2 was about alcohol, not because I'm encouraging it, but only because it's a lifetime thing that we are discussing right now. Lifetime guidelines, right? So this is what it says, and agar lifetime hai, then I have to create mechanisms where I try to cater to people who really want to drink. So if you must drink and if you want to drink, then please go and refer the guideline number 2 video. I'm not going to repeat the guidelines all over again here. The guideline number 3 was about feasts and festivals. अगर festivals है, feast है, घर में किसी भी तरह का birthdays, anniversaries, parties, wedding, शादी, ब्याह, whatever it is, तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए? That is something that I had covered in my 3rd guideline, the 3rd video. ये सारे वीडियोस YouTube और Instagram पेज पे आपको मिलेंगे, इनफैक्ट Facebook पेज पे भी मिलेंगे. So you can just go and check those videos. Again, even if it's a feast and festival, जो pattern मैंने आपको अभी बताया from morning to night, that is the pattern that we follow. It is just that the menu, the meals, all those change. अगर आपके घर में feast है या festival है, for example, I had just posted a holy meal plan on my Instagram page. तो वो holy meal plan आप देखेंगे, you will understand that it adheres to the basic guidelines itself. But just because it's a holy plan, just because it's a festival, you will see meals like gujia and payasam and halwa and puri and all those sorts of things. Then came the fourth guideline, the part 4, which was about travel. कि travel करना है तो क्या करना है, because again as I said it's a lifetime guideline. तो अगर lifetime guideline है तो उसमें travels भी होंगे, तो travels होंगे तो क्या हमारा सब किया हुआ मेहनत बेकार हो जाएगा, या हमें सब कुछ बंद करके सब भूल के we should be eating just mindlessly. You don't have to do any of that. So what are the basic travel guidelines? Those are things that again that I have discussed just yesterday, so you can go and check that video. So now these 4 guidelines are done, and I'm here for guideline number 5, and tomorrow I'm going to discuss the last guideline, which is guideline number 6, and that is going to be the end of this project. Okay, so what is the 5th guideline for today? The 5th guideline for today is actually 3. 1, 2, 3. So 1 is about avoiding excess of non-veg. So phase 1 में जो लोग मेरे साथ तीनों phase में सफर कर चुके हैं, उनको पता है कि phase 1 में eggs, red meat तो मना ही था. In phase 1 and phase 2 we had stopped red meat completely. So we were left with only eggs, fish and chicken, basically white meat. So phase 1 में it was only once a week. वो भी दिन में सिर्फ एक बार, एंड फेज 2 में वो हफ्ते में 2 बार रिलैक्सेशन हुआ था, एंड you were happy to have it twice a week, again only once a day. So a lot of people ask me, then what about phase 3? तो phase 3 में भी the whole thing stays the same. आपको नॉन वेजिटेरियन फूड को बहुत ज़्यादा एक्स्ट्रा या एक्सेस में नहीं खाना है. पीपल हु आर नॉन वेजिटेरियंस, फर्स्टली अगर आप वेजिटेरियंस है तब तो आप नॉन वेज के बारे में सोचना भूल जाइए, बिकॉज इफ यू थिंक कि आप वेजिटेरियन है और आपका प्रोटीन पूरा नहीं हो रहा है और आपको नॉनवेज खाना पड़ेगा because your trainer says so or your dermatologist says so, then please don't listen to them. You can stay vegetarian and stay healthy. A lot of influencers, icons, fitness icons, sportsmen, a lot of people, if you see, they are all turning vegetarians and they're doing so great in their profession, which all requires more of physical fitness. So there is no no two ways about it कि अगर आप vegetarian है तो fit नहीं रह सकते. This is just a myth. So that is one thing. The second thing is, अगर आप non-vegetarian है, please don't overdo it. The right way of eating non-veg food for a lifetime is that you only stick to twice a week of your chicken, fish, eggs. जो chicken, fish और eggs हैं, उनको आप हफ्ते में 2 बार खाइए. That is for a lifetime. Correct? And इसको भी आपको for a lifetime once in a day ही खाना है. So do not overdo it in a sense that you will start your breakfast with eggs and then lunch with chicken and then dinner with fish curry. Don't do that. Only once a day. कोई भी दिन आप चुने तो it should be one meal in one meal, and that meal preferably should be lunch. So that is the rule that you will follow for a lifetime. Now what about red meat? As I said, red meat is something that you can have now because this is phase 3 and this is a lifetime phase, and I do not want you to not have something for a lifetime. So red meat is fine to have in phase 3. Having said that, red meat कितना भी आप antibiotic free ले ले या organic ले ले या hormone free ले ले, by its very inherent nature red meat is pro-inflammatory. मतलब वो inflammation को किसी ना किसी तरह से encourage करता है body में. So the more you can stay away from it, the better it is. If you can quit it completely, that's the best you can do. But if you really like to have all those mutton, lamb and pork and everything, then whatever minimum that you can do, once a week करें या फिर once in a fortnight करें या once in a month करें. I would say, again, like I said, for alcohol, if you must have, then make a ritual around it. So with the red meat, I would say the same thing, make a ritual around it and see what is the best that can work for you. Because again, we are looking here for a blend of taste and health both. This is a lifetime phase and we have to be practical. So see what suits you, what is doable for you, and then make a plan accordingly. As far as chicken, fish or eggs are concerned, इनको हफ्ते में 2 बार ही खाना है. Don't overdo it and only once in a day. प्रोटीन कहाँ से आएगा? प्रोटीन के लिए there are lentils, बीन्स है, बहुत तरह के लेंटिल्स और बीन्स ऐसे हैं जिनका हमने नाम भी नहीं सुना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल देयर इज अ नौरंगी दाल. डिड यू नो अबाउट इट? I'm sure 99% of the people don't know about it. There's so many rare kinds of, it's not rare in the sense that they are not available. They're rare because we do not know about them. So there's so many these kinds of lentils and beans that we don't really talk about. We have not eaten them. We don't make enough recipes out of them. And we should make use of them. ये सारे जो lentils और दाल्स हैं, इनके जितने भी varieties हैं, सबके नाम chapter 6 में दिए हुए हैं, book में हैं. So please read that, please see that. Are you incorporating at least 80% of those lentils and beans in your diet? उनको किस टाइम पे खाना है, कैसे पकाना है, वो सारा कुछ, all the proper guidelines is there in chapter 6. So please go and read that. But your proteins can come from a lot of plant sources, like there is lentils, there is beans, there is nuts, there is seeds. Then also you have the dairy, like आपको dairy है, so there is buttermilk, there is chas. There is ghee, there is cheese, good quality cheese we are talking about. So all of these together are going to give you enough protein and you don't have to worry on that aspect at all. And for non-veg, as far as non-veg is concerned, why do I say only twice a week? Is because excess of non-vegetarian food is going to disrupt this delicate balance of microbes that you have created in your gut. So we do not want that to happen again. So we are trying to do things where we are able to maintain this diversity that you have cultivated in the last 10 weeks. So that is the reason कि excess नहीं होना चाहिए. आप हफ्ते में 2 बार खाइए, once a meal खाइए and it will be really fine. So that is the first guideline. The second guideline is keep faith with spices. So this is one thing that I wanted to say because a lot of people have asked me about raw foods, like raw salads खा सकते हैं क्या, raw sprouts खा सकते हैं क्या, and I've always explained also that what is the difference. I don't want to give the same explanation, but there's another drawback when we have raw foods and I want to talk about it in relation to spices. जब हम रॉ फूड खाते हैं तो क्योंकि वो रॉ है, आप उसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा कुछ सॉल्ट या कोई चीज का सीजनिंग देंगे, राइट? इट कुड बी सॉल्ट, पेपर, मे बी सम पर्सन वुड वांट टू हैव पुट सम ऑरिगेनो, बट दैट्स इट. आई मीन, हाउ मच मोर कैन यू पुट on a raw food? But when you cook that food, you put like this whole there's a whole cocktail of spices that goes inside your cooked food, right? You start with a tadka. Then in the tadka itself, like there is panch foran, which means there are 5 spices in the tadka itself. And then there are so many other masalas that go. There's a lemon juice also that will go. It's just so beautiful to see how we make different kinds of food, how we cook different kinds of food. And therefore it is very, very important to know that spices help in digestion. मैंने हमेशा कहा है that cooked food is easy to digest. This is something that I've always said from day one कि कोई भी खाना जो पका हुआ है versus a raw food, it is easier to digest simply because of the fact that it is cooked. Your gut doesn't have to work extra hard in order to break it क्योंकि वो already cooked है, soft है, पका हुआ है. So it doesn't have to do like really lot of hard work to actually break it and digest it. But the other part is also about the spices. When you eat cooked food, you're also consuming those spices and these spices help in accelerating your metabolism. आपके बॉडी का मेटाबॉलिज्म जिसके बारे में हमेशा से हम दुखी रहते हैं कि मेटाबॉलिज्म स्लो है, वी आर ऑलवेज कंप्लेनिंग अबाउट आवर मेटाबॉलिज्म, बट वी डू नॉट वांट टू ईट स्पाइसेस एट द सेम टाइम बिकॉज व्हाट वी जस्ट वांट टू ईट इज रॉ फूड बिकॉज आवर ट्रेनर सेज सो. बट इफ यू वांट टू इंक्रीज योर मेटाबॉलिज्म, यू गॉट टू have these spices. In what way are you going to have them? Again, it's covered in phase 1 videos, it's covered in the book. These guidelines, the phase 3 is about basically summarizing so that you can go ahead independently in the TBBD journey for a lifetime. It is not about I will not be able to revise each and every point that has been covered in the past. But what I will say is that spices are important. Therefore, it is important that you choose cooked food versus raw food. And the other thing which I want to say is there's a magic mix recipe in the book. So this magic mix recipe hai, bahut logon ne try kiya, they all felt great, and I know a lot of participants swear by it. So continue having that magic mix recipe as much as you can. Summers have set in. बहुत जगह बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी हो गई है, कोई जगह कम गर्मी है, but eventually summers are setting in. तो जितना आप so firstly the magic mix recipe doesn't have spices that are heating in nature. Magic mix में जो spices हैं, basically there is jeera, there is dhania, cumin, coriander, fennel is soft. All of these things are not something that are heating. But just because you're supposed to sip them warm, you're supposed to sip the water hot, it might not be comfortable for you. In that case, I said that you try to have it as much as it is possible for you. ज़बरदस्ती नहीं करनी है, जितना आप कर सकते हैं उतना करिए. And the same goes for the herbal teas. Like when I say that you start your day with a herbal drink or basically a warm drink, in phase 3 you can start your day with a small cup of milk as well, because phase 3 में milk allowed है. और warm drink का मतलब है कि phase 3 में you can start your day with a warm cup of milk as well. If you're starting your day with a warm cup of milk, तो भी आप देखिए कि जो summer column में herbal teas है. So there are certain teas, recipes are in the book again, but these are teas जिनके recipes specifically summer के हिसाब से दिए हुए हैं. So these are specifically for summer season. So go and shift into that summer herbal teas. These recipes are in chapter 10. And even if you're starting your day, say, with a warm cup of milk, then ensure that you're having that summer herbal tea or the magic mix, once a day, maybe in the evening, maybe, at bedtime, or maybe at some other day. But do try to, continue having a little bit of these spices in the form of cooked food or in the form of your herbal teas. So that is my second guideline. And the third is about ferment foods, but only once a week. Why is that so? Because in phase 2, the goal was different. In phase 2, we wanted to repopulate your gut with all the good microbes, and we did that for continuous 6 weeks. Now in phase 3, you don't have to go on doing that forever for the rest of your life. We just need that much enough so that it is well maintained. So for that, even if you ferment your foods once in a week, it's completely fine now. You don't have to do it every day. Now when I say ferment it once in a week, इसका क्या मतलब है? इसका मतलब है कि जो elaborate recipes हैं, जैसे कि कोई रेसिपी है भटूरा का, बुक में है, there are these जौ की घाट, which is basically a fermented barley drink, and then this is बाजरे की राबड़ी, which is again a fermented drink. So these are fermented drinks that you have to really ferment and consume. It's not something that जो आप ferment करके store कर सकते हैं, like suppose an अचार को आपने एक बार बनाया और वो आपके 1 साल का स्टॉक रेडी हो गया. बट यू कांट डू दैट विद अ भटूरा का आटा और अ बार्ली ड्रिंक और अ बाजरे की राबड़ी. सो एनी ऑफ दीज फर्मेंट्स विच आर टाइम कंज्यूमिंग, नंबर 1, क्योंकि आपको एक सर्टेन ओवरनाइट पे करना पड़ता है, मॉर्निंग में देखना पड़ता है, इट इज टाइम कंज्यूमिंग एंड इट इज नॉट समथिंग कि आपने एक बार करके छोड़ दिया. यू हैव टू गो ऑन फर्मेंटिंग एवरी टाइम यू वांट टू ड्रिंक इट, राइट? तो इस तरह की जो elaborate recipes हैं, if you want, you can do them once in a week, you can even do them once in 2 weeks, and that is fine. You don't have to go on doing that every day now in phase 3. आचार और गुलकंद, ये सब जैसे जो fermented चीजें हैं जो बना के store कर दिए गए हैं, those are fine. Those are something that you can take on a daily basis itself, not a problem. The reason is also this कि वो बहुत कम amounts में खाए जाते हैं, so they are not really contributing a lot. They're just eaten in very tiny amounts, and so even if you continue having them every day, that is if you wish, then that is not a problem. So these were the 3 guidelines for the lifetime. and tomorrow I'm going to pick up on my last one, and the last one will essentially be about how often can you do the TBBD journey, kya time gap pe karna chahiye, kab karna chahiye, and all of those things. But basically I'm hoping that you guys carry forward this journey, because jo karna hai, those lifetime guidelines I have already explained. Now this is practically the end of it, and tomorrow I'm just going to tell you how, as I said, you can go ahead repeating the same stuff, repeating the same 3-phased program again. But do let me know, even after the project, keep us updated. Okay, so there are 2 questions. One is about vegetable juice, and the second is about banana milkshake. Okay, so I'll just check. Okay, so vegetable juice में प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ यही है कि वेजिटेबल जूस जो है वो रॉ वेजिटेबल्स से बनता है. व्हेन यू मेक अ पालक का जूस, यू डू नॉट बॉइल द पालक एंड देन मेक अ जूस. अगर आप पालक को बॉइल कर देंगे देन इट विल टर्न इनटू अ सूप मोर देन अ जूस. So that is the only problem with juice. Juices are, most of the time I would use it with my clients only for certain typical kinds of symptoms or certain kinds of disorders that they are facing, and if I feel that a certain juice is going to help alleviate or solve that problem, then only for those particular days or weeks or months I'll tell my client to have a juice. But otherwise a juice is not something that appears on my meal plans very often. You would not see them anywhere in the book as well. अगर आपको vegetables बहुत पसंद है and you want to have a variety of them, a whole lot of them in a short span of time, then I will say that go for a soup and not a juice, because as I said, soup is cooked. सूप जब हम बनाते हैं, हम कच्ची चीज़ों का नहीं बनाते हैं. We always boil them, cook them, and as I said, it's not about just boiling and cooking. It's also about using a whole lot of spices in the soup. So if you go on the TBBD recipes which are there in my book, you will see that there are so many spices that we use. Like I have, I think, given 3 soup recipes in the book. One is amla ginger, the second is turmeric soup, the third is drumstick soup. If you see, all of them use a multitude of flavors and spices which you will not be able to benefit from if you just drink a glass of juice. So that is the thing. And then somebody has asked, what about tea and coffee and their effects on our gut? So tea and coffee, there is no restriction. phase 1 में हो या phase 2 में हो या phase 3 में हो, तीनों phases में आप टी और कॉफी पी सकते हैं. There is no problem at all. phase 1 and phase 2 में डेयरी बंद है, टी बंद नहीं है. टी मतलब आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द चाय पत्ती, तो सिर्फ डेयरी बंद है. तो अगर आपको चाय और कॉफी पीनी है तो उसके ऑप्शंस क्या है phase 1 phase 2 में? आप ब्लैक टी और ब्लैक कॉफी पी सकते हैं, दैट इज ऑप्शन 1. The option 2 is आप नट मिल्क डाल सकते हैं, लाइक एन आमंड मिल्क और कोकोनट मिल्क, वो देके आप चाय कॉफी पी सकते हैं. नंबर 3 इज कि इफ़ यू आर रियली वन ऑफ दोज पीपल जिनको हेडेक हो जाता है कि मुझे तो गाय के दूध का ही चाय पीना है, नहीं तो मैं नहीं रह सकूंगी, तो आप वो भी कर लो phase 1 phase 2 में. बिकॉज the idea is not to be like having a military sort of a program with a military rule, but the idea is to be able to do the best of what we can do. So if you're not able to leave your tea and coffee, दूध वाला, गाय के दूध वाला या भैंस के दूध वाला, उससे आपकी तबीयत ही खराब हो रही है, then I don't think it makes any sense. Then you see to it that आप वो दूध जो है सिर्फ उस चाय के कप में ही ले. फिर ऐसा नहीं है कि आप स्टारबक्स में भी जाके उसको पी रहे हैं या फिर आप उसका खीर भी खा रहे हैं. Do not do all of that. Just see that, okay, I'm going to just have this 1 cup of tea or coffee a day because I cannot live without it and I'm probably addicted to it. So kind of accept that fact and move on. Don't keep thinking about this because एक वो चाय का कप या एक वो चाय की कॉफी, उसके पीछे बाकी प्रोग्राम में और बहुत चीजें हैं करने के लिए. तो keep your focus over there and just don't ponder too much about this and just move on. phase 3 का क्या है? phase 3 में तो it's an all inclusive phase, it's a lifelong phase, everything is allowed. गाय का दूध, भैंस का दूध, हर तरह का दूध is allowed, so you can have it the way you want it in phase 3. What is the right quality? चाय पत्ती कैसा होना चाहिए, कॉफी कैसा होना चाहिए, I mean the coffee powder, what is the right time, वो सब के लिए you will have to go back and check my videos, because we have done a complete video on tea and coffee. Just for people who are new, I'll just say this thing and then I'll say bye bye. And that thing is that कि सारे videos जो हैं Instagram पे posted हैं. इंस्टाग्राम में जो मेरा प्रोफाइल पेज है उस पर आप जाएंगे तो आपको सारे वीडियोस वहीं दिखेंगे. सब में हेडिंग्स दिया हुआ है, सो यू कैन रीड टी एंड कॉफी एंड यू कैन चूज दैट इज नंबर वन. द सेकेंड वे ऑफ डूइंग इट इज दैट यू गो ऑन इंस्टाग्राम, यू पिक अप एनी वीडियो ऑफ माइन, द लाइव वीडियोज, एंड उस वीडियो में नीचे आप देखिए हैशटैग 10 weeks of युक्ताहार लिखा है, उस पर आप क्लिक करेंगे तो सारे वीडियोज आ जाएंगे जो इस 10 हफ्ते के प्रोजेक्ट में हमने कवर किया है. The third is about going again to my YouTube channels. In the YouTube channel also there is a playlist जहाँ पे 10 weeks of युक्ताहार का लिस्ट बनाया हुआ है, and you can just hop on to that list particularly and revise all the videos. So do that for people who are new, especially there are people who have joined us and who are still in phase 1. You can just be very very benefited if you just go and revise those videos. But of course read the book, because the book is the main thing. Again and again in the videos I'm asking you to refer to the book again. So the book is a very important thing. So do read the book, and then simultaneously, yes, you can watch the videos. Thank you so much guys for joining in, and I'm going to meet you tomorrow for the last time, at least for this project, at 6 p.m. on Instagram. Thank you.